Have you ever opened a drawer, pulled out a beautiful piece of family silver, and your heart just sinks? Because it's covered in this dark, kind of ugly film? We've all been there. But what if I told you that tarnish isn't a flaw? In fact, it might just be the very thing that proves your silver is the real deal. Let's get into why that black stuff is actually a really, really good sign. Oh man, this just says it all, doesn't it? It's a gut punch. You feel like you've ruined a priceless heirloom, that you let something terrible happen on your watch. It's a super common fear, but I'm here to tell you that feeling is completely misplaced. We are about to totally flip the script on how you see tarnish. So, this is the big question, right? The one that sends you into a total panic. You see that dark film, and your brain immediately goes to, it's rotting, it's corroding, it's damaged forever.
Okay, take a deep breath. The answer is absolutely not. It is not ruined. In fact, it's pretty much the opposite. That tarnish is a sign that you have authentic silver. It's the metal behaving exactly the way it's supposed to.
So to really understand why, we've got to look at the science here for a second. And don't worry, it's pretty straightforward. This isn't about decay or dirt. It's all about a completely natural and kind of cool chemical reaction. So here's the deal. Tarnish is simply what happens when silver atoms meet sulfur atoms. They bond and create a brand new thing called silver sulfide, which forms this super thin layer right on the surface. The key thing to get is that it's not eating the metal, it's just coating it. You know, it's really helpful to compare tarnish to something we all know and hate, rust. People mix these up all the time, but they could not be more different. Rust is an aggressive, destructive process. It's iron literally being eaten away by oxygen, turning back into dust. Tarnish, on the other hand, is a gentle, surface-level reaction. It doesn't harm the precious metal underneath one bit. So where is all this sulfur coming from? Well, pretty much everywhere. It's just floating in the air, especially if you live in a city. It's in a ton of common foods like eggs, onions, even mayonnaise. And here's a huge one. It's super concentrated in things like rubber bands and latex. This is exactly why tarnish is so common. Your silver is just reacting to the world around it. All right, so we've established that tarnish is basically a harmless chemical reaction. But here's where it gets really interesting. It's more than that. It's actually a stamp of quality, a badge of honor. Now this right here is the key takeaway. Just think about it for a second. Fake silver-toned metals, they're designed to look perfect forever because they're chemically dead. They're basically just cheap metal or plastic with a shiny coating. Real silver is alive. It's chemically active. Its ability to tarnish is literally proof of what it is. The best way to think of it is this. Tarnish isn't a flaw, it's a chemical signature. It is the unique fingerprints of authentic silver doing its thing, interacting with the world just like it's supposed to. And this leads to this really beautiful idea of living silver, because real silver is active, it changes, it adapts. Tarnish settles into all the little low points and crevices of a design, creating these gorgeous shadows that make the shiny, polished high points really pop. It gives the piece incredible depth and character. And that tarnish, it tells a story about where the piece has been, whether it's been sitting in a box for 50 years or used at the dinner table every week. You know, this whole new understanding of tarnish is really part of a much bigger shift in how we think about vintage and antique items. We're moving away from this old-fashioned, impossible ideal of perfection. For decades, this was the goal, right? That perfect, almost blindingly bright mirror finish. Every last speck of tarnish had to be scrubbed away. It was all about making something old look like it was made yesterday. But today, the trend is shifting towards something called honest wear. We're actually starting to appreciate the story an object tells through its surface. The patina, that beautiful combination of light tarnish and gentle wear, is now seen as a mark of character, of authenticity, and honestly, a more sustainable way to live with our history. And listen, there is a very practical reason for the shift. Every single time you aggressively polish silver, you are literally removing a microscopic layer of the metal itself. Now, for solid sterling, it would take a lifetime for that to matter, but for silver-plated items, you only have so many polishes in you before you wear right through to the cheap base metal underneath. So embracing that patina, it actually preserves the piece for longer. Okay, so this doesn't mean you should just let your spoons turn pitch black. Of course not. It's all about managing your silver intelligently, not fighting a constant losing battle against nature. So here are some key things to keep in mind. You can definitely slow things down with stuff like proper storage bags, but for the love of all that is holy, keep rubber bands far, far away. They are silver's absolute kryptonite. They will leave a deep black scar. Also, if you use your silver with foods like eggs or mayo, just give it a quick wash with mild soap right after. And most importantly, use it. And that brings me to this wonderful little piece of advice. Honestly, the best polish for your silver is just using it. The natural oils in your skin, the gentle friction from handling it, washing it, that is often all the polishing it really needs. Using your silver is truly the best way to care for it. So let's end with the single most important message here. Stop looking at tarnish like it's dirt or rot or a mistake. It's not. It is the chemical signature of an honest, precious metal that is behaving exactly the way nature designed it to. It proves its history and it proves its value. So next time you see that dark film on an old family heirloom, don't reach for the polish in a panic. Instead, I want you to take a closer look. Lean in. What story is that piece trying to tell you?